fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war.
David Longhibler, was First Lieutenant. I served in Iraq from November 2005 to November 2006. I served in a route clearance platoon. Route clearance platoon is a group of trucks, specialized trucks with specialized equipment that goes on the roadsides looking for roadside bombs. IEDs is what they're called. We travel the roadways. Anything that looked suspicious we would investigate, and when it was a bomb we would get rid of it before it exploded and hurt anybody.
Many people in the audience might be familiar with the film The Hurt Locker, which shows a crew. Were you responsible in terms of like trying to explode IEDs to make sure they didn't kill other people? You were trying to determine whether indeed it was going to be a weapon that would hurt someone?
We worked as a group. I was a combat engineer officer, so my job was to actually find them. And once I discovered that it was a bomb, my job was to protect the area and make sure that it was safe from anyone that would drive through. And we had what they call EOD, they're explosive experts, and they're attached to us. And they have robots that would go up to the device, interrogate it, find out any information they needed off of it, and then they would blow it in place.
What does that vehicle look like?
It's a really big truck on wheels. I think it's the heaviest thing our military has on wheels. It's over 20 tons. And it has a hydraulic arm on it. It seats 6 people, and we would go up to a device that we thought was an IED, and we would deploy the arm, and it's a hydraulic arm, and it had a camera on it and what we called the claw, and you could use that claw to manipulate the device. If it was a tire, flip it over, a bag of trash, you could rip into it, and then a camera, of course, you would look in to see if you could find any explosives, wires, anything that would lead you to believe it was a bomb, and once you did, you got away from it fast. My platoon found 103 IEDs, and I had one of the best debt ratios in the company. It was the best. 1 out of 10 blew up on us before we could get rid of it properly.
What's that experience like?
It's just somebody grabbing you and shaking you. And it's really fast, it's really loud, it's very strong, and afterwards you're kind of wondering where you're at and forget your name for a little bit. But you gather yourself back together, you got a job to do, so you get back to work.
What was it like to serve there? What was the camaraderie like between members of your platoon?
It was amazing. The American people, I'm not sure they completely realize what they have in the American soldier. These are the bravest people I've ever seen. I felt safer just by having them around me. If I was there by myself, I would have been scared beyond explanation, but with them around me, I knew that I could get the job done, whatever it was. Like a lot of National Guard and Reserve, we got called up for service. And I found myself in Iraq with a bunch of other Americans who are feeling the same way, like, wow, what have we got ourselves into? And then you just find a way to get it done. That's really what it's about.
Because these are people who basically had a day job that they were always doing, right?
Yes, but I thought that made us stronger, because you got active duty. They're a younger crowd, and their focus in their training is more specific on military tasks. What I found as a National Guard lieutenant is I was always being asked to do things that were outside of the box, and I had a platoon full of regular Americans who were plumbers, who were carpenters, electricians, all kinds of different jobs, fields, experience, and I drew on a lot of it to get things done. It wasn't just the military mission. There was a lot of other things too.
So you returned home from war. What was the return experience like for you, and how do you think Americans are responding to veterans returning from war now?
I'm very thankful, because especially the USO, when we were going through the airports, coming home, or even going to theater, they were there. And they were clapping and they were cheering. They were giving us food, drink. They're showing their appreciation. So you really felt like you were one of America's sons going forward. You had that sense of pride. When I got home, though, I had some mixed feelings, because when they shipped us back to where we came from, like I was on a bus busload of other guys and girls who came back here to Jefferson Barracks. And when I got home, I have a big family, so they were there with signs and cheering, and they even got me a stretch limo. You know, I came home to a hero's welcome. But my family was easily half the people that were there. And there was a busload of people, a busload of soldiers. And when they got off that bus, I looked around and I saw a lot of them on their cell phones looking for a ride. And it left me feeling bad because, you know, I have a strong family, so they're there for me. But I know there's a lot of people who don't have that, and they come home to silence sometimes. And they're the heroes. When you don't get the accolades, I think that makes your sacrifice even stronger.
What would you like people to think about as they honor veterans?
In honoring veterans, if you want to honor a veteran, I think what you need to do is continuously work hard to the betterment of your country, because there has been a long line of proud Americans that have served this country and have sacrificed, who bled, who toiled, so that what we have here is real. And if you work hard to fix the things in this country that need to be fixed, and work hard to keep this country strong, then you're honoring your veteran. That's how you do it.